let me know in the chat or send me a message to 913-590-303. I can't see the other side of the road, says Coach Turner this morning in the UK. In other news, there's something unsettling happening over the pond. It's interesting. I didn't see much of the inauguration, and a lot of the Chicken Little warnings don't seem to have come to very much, which I guess a lot of us were anticipating, right? And we're very much proceeding in the way that James Holly talked about. We'll see. We will see, won't we? This reality is the way it is because it's the only one we've got, and it can't be any other way. However, we can co-create and collaborate to make it other, can we not? Which is what certainly feels like the spirit of the times to me. More of that on the moment with me and Mrs. M at midday. And tonight, if you want to get stuff off your chest about the American election, the inauguration, a good place to do that is with me and the Portuguese at 7 p.m. this evening. Bon dia, Carl and company, says Bob, probably Bob of Bob and Viv. Good morning to you both. And Joao Ernesto also in. I'll come to some interesting news. Well, I think is interesting news anyway, that's connected to the great outdoors here in Portugal in just a moment. After I've said hello, my mum brought me up well. Good manners. Say hello. When someone says hello to you, you say hello back and take your hands out your pockets. Bom dia, alegria, Portugal from Joao Ernesto de Nord. And Rugby Colin, our electricity was off. Like, think of the money you've saved, Rugby Colin. I've just received a €240 electricity bill for the last month. Saved, I don't know, 40 or 50 euros there possibly. Colin, 13:30, 1:30 yesterday to 6 o'clock. That's not a great time to lose your electricity. You want that to happen when you're asleep, really, don't you? How much we take it for granted. Everything you think of doing is impossible. I found that when my water was cut off. What are we like, Colin? My water. Well, a lot of it was incompetence and cultural differences. Last week for my water. I'm not sure with yours, Colin. Probably there's so much work going on around where you live. It's probably something to do with that. And Mike is in as well. One bag and a passport. Bon dia, Gumpers. Right, let's go to the first of my stories. I did manage to make a nice cup of tea from which I will sip now, if you'll permit me. First sip of tea of the day. That's fantastic. I'll drink the rest of that when we're talking to Jazz. Jason Hall at 8:20 this morning. Right. The thing that caught my eye this morning, among many other things, it has to be said, if I give you a little bit of a sweep of the news over at the Portugal Resident, and we've got a whole range of stories as we have. It does look like a slightly more interesting time news-wise, all sorts going on. It obviously goes quiet, doesn't it, over Christmas and New Year, which just goes to show it's not that important, is it? The news, it's so important, but we'll take a break and just put it on a skeletal staff around the world in the newsrooms until we get excited about everything again. I'm going to look at calling all cyclists and hikers to the Western Algarve. This is a really nice facility that's just been unveiled. Another thumbs down for government's proposed change to land law. It says here in the Portugal Resident as well, the controversial, that seems to be the whipping boy news story of the moment, doesn't it? The government's changes to the land law to make building a little bit easier. University of Algarve to build 2 new student residences. I guess when I said there was a lot going on in the news, it's not that exciting, but isn't it nice to know that? I mean, there are a few, 1 or 2 grisly things which I won't share with you this morning. But it's quite, as well as the supermarket, the obligatory supermarket opening, new Lidl here, new Mercadona there, University of Algarve to build 2 new student residences. Over at the Portugal News, I want to talk to you about the new camping car park. That is the unsexiest bit of marketing I've heard for a long time. Come and camp in a car park. More about that. The 2 news articles I'm sharing with you this morning have a similar theme. And news that we've all been waiting for, the new Lisbon airport to open in 2036, 2037. Should we have a quick look at that now and see whether there's anything in that? Say that to a Portuguese person and they'll be like, yeah, whatever. But I think we should have a brief look at this before we look at camping in car parks and the new cycling and hiking trail in the Algarve. Right. Who's this? Who's behind this story in the Portugal News then? But excuse me a minute. Did you think someone was at the door? No. Just needed to cough, and I didn't want to do it over you. ANA Aeroportos de Portugal expects to open the new Lisbon airport in mid-2037. How long? What? That's ages away. Or with optimizations to the schedule to be negotiated with the government at the end of 2036, according to the initial report. So there you go. If you were thinking, it'll be only 5 years or something like that, and we'll be able to use it, 2036, 2037. In the report published on the official website of the Institute of Mobility and Transport, the IMT, which has received the green light from the government to proceed with an application for the Luís de Camões Airport, that's what it's going to be called, begins by highlighting that based on the schedule provided for in the concession contract, the environmental authorizations and the complexity of the works foresees the opening of the new Lisbon airport being called the NAL. It's gnarly, man. It's been gnarly from the get-go. NAL, the new Lisbon airport, I guess that's Novo Aeroporto de Lisboa in mid-2037. However, and are there any comments yet? What's up with the commenters at Portugal News? That's always the best part. Nobody's flamed this story up yet. However, of course, the report points out some possible optimizations of the schedule, which you know what that means, delays, right? ANA is interested in discussing with the Grand Tour, which will allow considering an early opening of the early opening will be the end of 2036, everybody. So calm down if you're expecting a fairly imminent opening of the new Lisbon airport, right? Good morning to Antonio Barbosa as well. Tony Time, the man in the Mino, moist or chilly or both? Morning greetings. It is milder everywhere, isn't it? I think it's fair to say. It's so much nicer here to have mild, if rainy weather here on the Silver Coast. 16 degrees in Villanova de Cerveira. Happy Tuesday, says Antonio. And after many days of mornings in the 3s to 4s, there you go. It's pleasant to wake up to quite a mild 12 today. Absolutely. And the power in Caldash was off for a few hours on Sunday as well. Interesting stuff. Deagle's in also. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpus from a damp but okay Belfast. 8 degrees today, but decent weather. For an outside job in the garden, spring, summer, not far away. That's what you're looking for, is it? Or is 8 degrees the decent weather you are hoping for, Deagle? Petter also in this morning. Bon dia a todos. The Welsh are fairly quiet so far this morning. Do you see that yesterday? Or nudging the Welsh invasion yesterday. Where's Jackie? Calls to learn. Oh, Colin's representing as well, of course. Colin Ross Jones. The Portuguese Welsh affinity well represented here on the Good Morning Portugal show. Right, let me then go to the calling all cyclists and hikers. This is lovely. Cycle and hike in the Algarve with this new initiative, and then we'll look at the funny news item about the camping car park. I suppose it's for camper vans, isn't it? But camping car park, it sounds so unglamorous. Golden age of holidaying and leisure. Yes, come and stay in a car park. Right, let's have a look at this one then. This is a beautiful new pink road. You know, these are European funded, aren't they? Often these pink roads that in many ways you might argue don't get enough use. And they'll only get used if we go and use them, folks. New coastal paths unveiled in Vila de Bispo. Who fancies as one of their New Year's resolutions this year, jumping on a bicycle or getting out and walking more? I know I do, and I have been actually. I haven't done much cycling. No, I never really go touring on my bike or go to town or down to the shops. But I would like to walk more and further here on the Silver Coast. And this is also very inviting as well. Down in the Western Algarve, cyclists and hikers looking to explore the Algarve's stunning western coast. I think you'll have a great time if you go down there. And this motley crew here, they don't look really, do they, for a cycle or a walk? They look like all the folks who were told that morning that they were going on a photo shoot to publicize this new part of the network here in Portugal. They don't look ready for it. There are a few obligatory bicycles possibly parked up to the right there. The Vila de Bispo celebrated the grand opening. Who doesn't like a grand opening of its southwest coastal Ecovia and cycle path? The Ecovia e Ciclovia. Oh, sorry, Ecovia e Ciclovia. I think I prefer Ecovia. Sounds like a new country, doesn't it? The Litoral Sudoeste. on last Saturday. The event, led by Mayor Ruta Silva, was attended by key figures such as José Apolinario, head of the Regional Development Commission, the CCDR in the Algarve, of course, the José Caetano, president of the Portuguese Bicycle Tourism Federation. Local officials, community leaders, there they are in the picture, and residents also joined the celebration. What's happening here then? Oh, we're opening the cycle track. Oh, can I be in the photo? Yeah. We need a few more people in the picture. This new network of paths features 31.5 kilometers of cycling and walking paths. That'll make a nicer Gumper outing, would it not? Or weekend. The first is a 26-kilometer path connecting Sagres to Algesur, while the second is a shorter 5.5-kilometer cycling path. It's cycle paths everywhere these days. Is it a narcissistic cycle path? Linking the Quatro Estradas roundabout, not the Quatro Estradas roundabout in Sagres, to Cape of St. Vincent. Cape St. Vincent, Portugal's and mainland Europe's southwesternmost point. Both paths were designed to take advantage of low traffic roads. Very good, with breathtaking views, making them enjoyable for locals and visitors alike. Love it. The great outdoors on Good Morning Portugal this morning. Although the longer route was designed mainly for longer journeys, while the shorter path boasts several points of interest along the way. Representing an investment of 1.77 million, the project was 70% funded by European programs such as Algarve 2020 and Algarve 2030, as well as the National Tourism Board, Turismo de Portugal. The launch ceremony was held as part of the town's St. Vincent Day festivities. There you go. The Ecovia also links the Eurovelo network. Now, this is what makes it especially interesting, I think. You can cycle across Europe, a system of long-distance cycling routes spanning 70,000 kilometers across Europe. In the Algarve, there are three main regional paths: Litoral Sul, Costa Vicentina, and Guadiana. These paths connect urban areas, making them ideal for commuting. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Commuting by bike along such a beautiful pink cycle path. Sightseeing or a leisurely bike ride. So far, 74 kilometers of the planned 250 kilometers in the Algarve has been completed, with more to come under the Algarve 2030 program. Vila do Bispo has already finished 24 kilometers of its network, while Algesur is working on its 60 kilometers still. Thank you, Michael Brujo, in the Portugal resident there. Isn't that lovely? I need another cough. Hold on. Oh, that was a much bigger and longer cough, and you'll be glad I didn't do that on you. Pam, got your message late last night. Yes, I would love to do that, and I had been meaning to get back to you. We've missed you. Yeah, I did mention, did I not? And this is not apropos to you personally, Pamela. But yeah, how's it going with the any New Year's resolutions that you may have? I mean, let's not be too strict about it. James is here. He's told us how silly resolutions can be. Bom dia, Gumpas, feliz terça a todos. Como va todos this morning? But I think it's fair to say when the new year comes, we think of doing new things, do we not? How's that going? Have you stuck to anything? Have you thought of new things to do? Have I inspired you to get down to the Western Algarve and get on that lovely cycle path there, which is our main news item of the morning? I think that's another little great contribution to life here in Portugal, especially around tourism, but also working very well for local people. But actually, that's a good point. It's not just for tourism, it's for commuting and for leisure for local people as well. So a great win-win down there in the Western Algarve. Let me then go to this before we have a look at the news and this milder weather around the country. One more wafer-thin news item to do with the great outdoors and the camping car park, the excitingly named camping car park here. It sounds a bit like a dogging thing when they put it like that, doesn't it? I'm not sure, and I've lost it now. Was this over on? Hold on a minute. Let me just stop sharing and go back to the piece that I found. Oh yeah, new camping car park. We're going over to the Portugal news for this one. Where's Pete this morning? He's noticeably absent. There's a comment like that that will flush him out, though. New camping car park opens, the largest outside France. Now, two things here. That's quite the claim, isn't it? And are they hoping that people will come from miles around to see the new big camping car park? And the suggestion that the French have got the biggest one, and aren't we lucky to have the second biggest? Camping Car Park has announced the opening of a service and parking area. It's a motorhome thing in Lavos. This is Figueira da Foz. Then if you've got a camper van, the largest outside France, I'm still not feeling it. Are you? This is the first area managed by Camping Car Park in Portugal, located on the coast, in this case, right in front of the Praia the Costa de Lavos. Have you been to Figueira da Foz? Massive beach there, and joins the two areas opened in 2023 in Pinhel and Penacova, both inland of the country. Penacova, not far from. I'm seeing no pictures of it here. This is very, very, actually very strange. I think I'm not feeling like I want to go yet. The Asa de Lavos offers a total of 63 spaces and is equipped with essential services for motorhome users. You need fresh water and you need to get rid of the blue stuff, don't you? The space is also served by public toilet facilities. I think they've made a very, very big news story out of quite a small piece of news here. No doubt of interest to you. Oh, there it is in the picture. The editor must have said, look, have we not got a better picture of this? That's where I guess in the left-hand side of that picture is where you're going to stick the 63 vehicles. And I was quite honestly expecting something a little bit bigger. If it was going to be the largest camping car park outside of France, I was expecting it to be perhaps a little bit bigger than 63 vehicle bays. But there you go, in the area of Figueira da Foz, the largest outside France camping car park. I suppose that will be exciting if you're a camper van owner. JMC is here. Bon dia, rapaziado. Good to see you, JMC. And thanks for popping into the moment as well yesterday. Pete needs flushing first. He does, doesn't he? He does need to give it 5 minutes, you might say. He'll be along in just a moment. Let's have a look at that Spartan FX weather then, shall we? Over at goodmorningportugal.com on our tab. Oh, yeah. Don't forget, folks, we're getting excited now about the 15th. Saturday the 15th is going to be party time. Good times, Gumpers, here on the Silver Coast. The first of many, I hope, of such gatherings, a bit of karaoke, bit of talent, bit of disco dancing. We have requests, especially from the ladies who want to dance somewhere. That's not a cattle market nightclub at 2 a.m, but more like maybe 9 o'clock in the evening where it's safe to dance and have fun. And we certainly will be doing our best to provide that. Get over here, Pedder, with your karaoke and your DJ PA. That's what we need at the moment. That's what I'm trying to source here on the Silver Coast. So hopefully see you on the 15th. Hope you can make it.